can start. Oh, good morning, grade 6 pupils. I hope they are at home. You are doing very well. I hope the Almighty Father has granted you with life. Yeah. So actually, I'm here to teach you social study a little bit. Since you know we broke long time ago, I do not want to lag behind. I do not want us to lag behind actually. And that's why let me teach you a little bit of social studies. So this is grade 6 and a social study lesson. Before I start my lesson, I want to take this opportunity to alert you on 1, 2, 3 issues. Number 1, just 2 days backward we gave you homework, which actually parents and you yourself you came for at school. Make sure you complete our homework in time. I hope you're going to do that. Number 2, we teachers, we sat down and we see, instead of just sitting at home doing nothing, we came out with a system that will enable you to access learning day after day in school. Is that not good? I hope your answer it is good. So all in all, what we need is you to cooperate with us. Hopefully you are all going to cooperate. Now, from where we left in social studies, since I said we do not want to lag behind, we left in a unit which was unit 4. I hope it was unit 4. And this was on resources and economic activities. As I used to teach you, my pupils, I used to say very well that learning should actually continue in absence or in presence of the teacher. I hope at home you are learning. And I told you very well this topic or this unit used to be the longest unit. And maybe just to reconfirm to you again. Activities, very well. Activities, very well. Our slight error, which has already been confirmed. So what I was saying, I was teaching you very well that this unit used to be the lengthiest unit. Imagine a unit starting from page 79 of a textbook, and this one runs up to a page that is almost a page that is 140. Is that not lengthy? So highly it needs your concentration. Make sure you cooperate. We teachers, we've dedicated our time to make sure we help you at home. I hope you shall cooperate with each and every teacher. Not only me, you cooperate with me. I expect cooperation to all teachers. Yeah. So, actually, the last minute I taught you social study, we started handling on fishing. And this is what I also want to discuss. I want to take this time to discuss everything with you. So make sure you access also my work on WhatsApp. We are going to show that. So, just to begin with, we need actually to explain the meaning of fishing, not just a word. I know you all know this word. You've been getting people talking about fishing every now and then. What is its meaning? Very important. Now, fishing just refers to harvesting of fish from water bodies. And when we talk of water bodies, we have 2 types of water bodies. It can either be inland water body or marine water body. So the key term there when illustrating the meaning, we talk about harvesting. And harvesting of what? Never mentioned crops, because I know when we talk of harvesting, most people, their mind run into crops. No, even fish are being harvested. So say harvesting of fish from water bodies. Just put it in general form, harvesting of fish from water bodies, and if you like, you can extend it to harvesting of fish from water bodies, like, then put it like, add that, like inland fisheries, talk about inland fisheries, or what we call marine or sea. You can either say marine or sea. Now from there, I'm going to take you to 2 main types of fisheries. We have 2 main types of fishing. 2 main types. We have 2. And this is called two main types of what we call two main types of fishing. Before I proceed to these two main types of fishing, I need to tell you very well that fishing is an economic activity. Remember, economic activity is what people does to get money, to create wealth. For example, if I extend a little bit, last time I taught you very well that economic activities could include trade. And of course, trade is the main economic activity in major towns like Nairobi. So, maybe secondly, since I'm talking about fishing, let fishing appears in second position. Fishing is one of the economic activity we have in Kenya and even other countries abroad. Now, let's now focus on these two types of fishing. Two main types of fishing. And earlier on from my definition, earlier on from my meaning, I said the first type involved inland. Inland, even let me indicate it on the board. I talked about inland fishing. I'm going to take you step by step to ensure that you understand everything. I'm going to ensure that you understand everything. Now, step number one. If we talk about the word inland, let me circle inland only because you had already known the meaning of fishing. Now, inland is a type of fishing that takes place in freshwater lakes or freshwater bodies. Say freshwater bodies in general. And if I say freshwater bodies, just say takes place. Kindly do not write this. I will give you notes at the end of the lesson. So these ones are just what I use to teach you. So, this one is just to show you how inland fishing takes place. And from the start there, I showed you very well that inland takes place in fresh water bodies. Now, next question is, do we know some few examples of freshwater bodies in Kenya? And if not in Kenya, since in your class we talk about Eastern Africa, a region of 11 countries, do we still know other freshwater bodies outside Kenya? Hopefully I know you know, because I've been handling you in class and actually you've been telling me the answers. Now, since you're not with me here, let me just highlight few examples of freshwater bodies we have in Eastern Africa. Number one. Talk about lakes. Most of our lakes actually in Eastern Africa are freshwater lakes. And these lakes, you could go to an extent of mentioning Lake Victoria, number one. You could mention Lake Tanganyika, Lake Malawi, Lake Turkana, and so many others that you already know. Number two, inland fishing also takes place in rivers. I'm very happy you even used to recite for me a song summarizing all rivers in Eastern Africa. I hope at home there, don't forget that, you still know it. Now, just to mention a few rivers we have in Kenya. Starting by Kenya, we have the largest river, River Tana, exists in Kenya. We have so many rivers, like we have River Athi, we have River Kuja, River Mara, River Nzoia. When you move to Tanzania, rivers that we have there at Pangani, we have Rufiji and Ruvuma. These rivers are mentioned there. Actually, inland fishing takes place in them. Now, in addition to these two, we also have other freshwater bodies where inland fishing takes place. Now, let's indicate dams. Before I write dams, let me indicate ponds. I'd already indicated that, ponds. And these ponds, you can also call them fish farms. Just put stroke fish farms. Yeah, actually people keep fish in farms, and these are small hatcheries which are made such that fish are thrived there, and these fish are provided with food. Remember last time when I started this subheading, I told you that fish foods are called planktons. If maybe you had forgotten it, make sure you write it behind your exercise book for class 1. It will be of useful to you because you should be revising, and anytime you get it in exams, you will recall that. I hope that is taken. So planktons, as I said, is fish foods. Just say fish foods. And that is what we call planktons. Now, in addition to these three, we also have what we call dams. Inland fishing takes place also in the dams. Remember, these are 4 areas I've given you. whereby inland fishing takes place. Just to summarize them, I had mentioned lakes, I had mentioned rivers, I had mentioned ponds, which I've stocked it with fish farms, and finally I had mentioned what we call dams. More importantly is to know this, and even types of fish found in inland fishing. And remember, if I talk of inland fish, I used to tell you that we have the smallest fish of all. And one time you told me that this smallest fish, we don't consume it according to your religion. Yeah, and this is called daga. We call it daga. In our native language, we call it omena. This is under inland fish. Never forget about this one. Even call it the youngest fish ever that exists in this Africa. So we have daga, we have tilapia. We have tilapia. It's another inland fish that we have. We have Nile perch. Nile perch. These are other inland fish. We will have another fish that stays in muddy areas, hence the name mudfish. Mudfish. This fish appears like snake. If you see it, it's very black in color. In fact, if you see it very first time, you can escape out of it. You can really run out of it because it appears like a snake, very black, and it's really strange. So, shout. Let me end there and make sure you summarize all these 5 types of fish I've given under inland fish. If you have a question, make sure you will ask me later. Let me move to number 2 and sorry. Now, concerning types of fishing, we have number 2, what we call, sorry. We have number 2 here, what we call sea fishing. Let me just take you very quickly to see fishing. Yeah, this is also another very important area that you wish and you must know and understand. Because in your class, you people, you are in senior class, what is tested there is actually areas that you might ignore. Like this area, you can ignore it. And if I start discussing this one, make sure you lend me your ears. You listen attentively, and you shall also follow the instruction I will leave there at the end of the lesson. Now, sea fishing takes place in large water bodies. Remember the condition here if you are giving out the meaning of sea fishing. This is a type of fishing that takes place in large salty water bodies. And this is the main difference between what we call sea fishing and inland fishing. Remember, inland fishing, I said very well, takes place in fresh. The key term there is fresh water bodies. But now see the difference. If we mention sea fishing, I've said large salty water bodies. Wherever you have grade 6, I'm very sure you are able to tell me some examples of areas where sea fishing can comfortably take place. For example, don't give me your answer, I know it will not reach me, but just now go with me. Now, sea fishing takes place in large water bodies, like the one that begins with O. And if you see that letter O, we proceed with an ocean. That name ends an O, an ocean. An ocean that borders Kenya that you know marine fishing can take place is called an Indian Ocean, to the farthest coast of Kenya. So, in addition to Indian Ocean, in Eastern Africa here, sea fishing can also take place in seas. And remember, just some days ago, weeks and months backward, I taught you of a sea that borders Eastern Africa. And we mentioned this sea as a sea called Red Sea. And he used to make fun of it, asking me that, is the water there being red? No, that is just a name. So, here in Eastern Africa, we have a sea known as Red Sea. So, marine fishing also takes place there. Just as I summarize, let me also teach you one thing concerning the types of fish which are found in the sea fishing. Let me say types, small subheading. Types of fish. This small subheading that we already have there is reading types of sea fish. I mean, the types of fish we caught in the ocean or in the Red Sea, as you know. Now, number 1 that you need to know is all what we call tuna. There is a kind of fish that we call tuna. And if you want to know much about them, Google the name tuna. And if you do not Google, move to your social textbook. And this is on page. Let me confirm for you a little bit. What I just taught you some 2 minutes ago concerning inland fish, Nile perch I said, tilapia I said, and trout I said, are on page 97. Make sure you go with this textbook, Our Lives Today, grade 6, and you confirm on page 97, know those names and know how you call them in your own Somali language. And secondly, concerning what I just taught you few seconds ago, concerning these types of fish found in sea, we have the picture. The one that we always get from what? Indian Ocean, Red Sea. Mullet is there, tuna is there, and another fish that is called kingfish. It's not that it is a king, but that's just the name of that fish, called kingfish. So, I hope you shall check that on page 98. On this sea fishing, we have them on page 98. But just to write for you a few examples, we have mullet. This is read as mullet, double L. And I will actually be very happy if you wrote for me mullet fish. Don't just write for me mullet. There are so many things called mullet. You see, pupils, for you to cooperate and actually do very well in social, you need to be very keen. For example, if you're writing daga, don't write for me daga only. So many things can be called daga. Write daga fish, tilapia fish, Nile perch fish, mud fish. You see, the name is even mud fish. This is complete. But with me, a social study teacher, I will consider the rest of the three not complete. If you've written for me tuna only, not complete, add the name fish. Because we are talking about types of fish found in sea. A sea like Indian Ocean or like a Red Sea. Such type of fish, expect tuna fish. I'm still repeating for you to make sure you understand, take short notes, and always keep revising. That is what is more important. Yeah, so tuna fish, mullet fish, and number 3 that we have to say is king. And remember, the reason why I was saying you have to add fish, if you write king only, it will bring a different meaning, who will be a person. But if you add now fish, yes, if you add now a fish, even a kid in grade 1 will now tell that, this is a type of fish. But if you wrote a king, it's a confusion. A pupil in grade 1 will say, oh, king, I know him, he is a person. They exist in other countries, though they will tell you Kenya they do not exist. So kingfish, and in addition to that, we also have others known as oysters. Correct spelling of oysters. These ones are those kinds of fish. Let me confirm for you the rest. Now, we have oysters. Another one is called lobsters. A wise pupil is always the one who goes beyond the teacher. If the teacher have actually put his full stop there, make sure you always discuss and be eager to know much according to what the teacher had not discussed. Remember, according to our system, we are supposed to give you only 25%. Meaning, a wise pupil should be getting or obtaining the rest that is remaining to make it 100%. So having given you 25%, and I'm very sure what I've given you is much than 25. Let me say it is 60. I wish you, and I hope very well, that we're going to say, check the other 40s that are left for you. Now, my last statement as my lesson ends, I'm going to give you work. And this work must be written in social classwork book from where we stopped last time. And this work you will obtain it from WhatsApp for the school. So here we shall just, let me just do that. Perfectly, having done that, that's okay. Hope very well for you. We are approaching the weekend. Make sure you take good care of yourself. Actually, under this dangerous situation that all globally, let me put it globally, we are undergoing it. We only wish you very well, and take all necessary measures concerning hygiene. Hygiene right now is very important because you know the situation under the viral disease we are going through. Take good care. Make sure you follow instruction at home. And the homeworks, let me repeat also. The homework we had given you, do them. Don't spare them. And don't relax. If you relax, you will be surprised. You will be surprised if the one who used to tell in classroom, in your class that you know there, will be appearing top while you coming backward. So all in all, my pupils, I as your class teacher, my last statement is work hard at home, give your parents easy time, cooperate with them, and always the way the teacher had taken their time actually to do for you a lot of work. Also cooperate with them. And to the parent, what I can say, never hide a phone to your child. Make sure they access your phones, because as in school there we have allowed them to do so. If they access the phones, they will get our work there and they will do them as we expect. Thank you very much and enjoy your weekend. End of my lesson.